Let's talk about your garden for a minute. Do you ever feel like you're a slave to the watering can? Like if you miss a single day, everything just starts to wilt? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. We're going to uncover one super common mistake and learn a whole new way of thinking that's going to build you a stronger, way more self-sufficient garden.
I know, this question sounds a little crazy, right? But what if I told you that daily watering, that little act of kindness you think you're doing, is actually making your plants weak and totally dependent on you? Let's dig into how our best intentions might actually be the root of the problem.
So what is this big mistake we all seem to be making? Well, horticultural consultant Graeme Farrer has a great name for it, something most of us probably do without even thinking. He calls it the tea time sprinkle.
Come on, we've all done this. You get home, you grab the hose, and you give everything a quick 2-minute splash just to freshen things up. It feels like the right thing to do. But as we're about to see, this little daily habit is actually setting our gardens up for failure.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The issue isn't just that a quick sprinkle is a bit wasteful. No, it's much deeper than that. You're actually creating a cycle of dependency. You're basically getting your plants hooked on you being there every single day.
So check this out. That daily splash only manages to get the top centimeter of soil wet. And what's the big deal with that? Well, that top layer is the very first part of the soil to get baked dry by the sun, leaving your plant's roots high and dry, and very, very thirsty. And this just shows you the results so clearly. On the left, that's what happens with the daily sprinkle. You get this shallow, weak root system that's just hanging around near the surface, waiting for its next fix. But on the right, with deep watering, you're encouraging those roots to dive deep, creating this strong, independent foundation that's totally protected from the heat. This quote really just says it all. You're not actually helping your plants, you're training them to be helpless. Think about it. You miss one day during a hot spell, and those shallow, addicted roots just get cooked. The whole plant just collapses. So how do we break this cycle for good?
All right, it's time to break the cycle. The solution is all about reprogramming everything, our habits and our plants' roots. It's one single big change to the way we approach watering.
And honestly, it's this simple. First, you stop that daily ritual. Just stop. Instead, you're going to give your garden a long 20-minute deep soak, but, and this is key, only once or twice a week. You're actually giving it more water, just way less often. Now, here's the magic behind it. The whole point is to get that water to sink 15, maybe even 20 centimeters down into the soil. You're creating this deep underground reservoir. The surface can get totally dry, and that's okay, because it forces the plant's roots to go digging for that stable moisture way down deep, which is what makes them so incredibly tough.
So you've got the main strategy down, but there are a couple of other little tricks you can use to make it even better. Think of these as 2 simple habits that are just total game changers.
The first one is the knuckle check. This is so simple, it's brilliant. It stops you from just watering on a schedule. Instead, you water when the soil actually tells you it needs it. You just push your finger into the dirt, and if the tip feels moist down there, you walk away. Even if the surface looks dusty and dry, you trust the check. The second win is all about timing. From now on, you only water late in the evening, after the sun's gone down, or super early in the morning before it comes up. Why? Because you're not fighting against the sun. You're giving all that water hours and hours to sink deep into the ground instead of just vanishing into thin air. And just look at this. This shows you exactly why that timing is so crucial. If you water during the heat of the day, you can lose up to half of your water to evaporation. It's just gone. But when you water in the evening, pretty much all of it goes exactly where you want it to, down to that deep soil reservoir. So, the big question, does this actually work? You bet it does. Let's meet 3 plants that basically become unstoppable heroes once you train them with this deep watering discipline. First up, Echinacea. You probably know it as coneflower. This plant is a natural for this method. It already has a deep taproot, so once you train it to find water deep down, it will just stand tall and proud in the hottest sun for weeks without any help from you at all. Next we have lamb's ear. I love this one. Its fuzzy, silvery leaves are like a natural sun shield, and it's an expert at hunting for that deep moisture. Plus, it's a fantastic indicator plant. If you see your lamb's ear finally start to wilt a little, you know it is really time for a deep soak for the entire garden. And finally, rosemary. This plant is the perfect example of how that old shallow watering habit can actually be harmful.
Rosemary is built for dry conditions, and giving it a daily sprinkle can actually cause its roots to rot. But with that infrequent, deep watering, it develops this incredibly tough, woody root system and just thrives.
So, when you boil it all down, it's really a shift in how we think. We're not just pampering our plants anymore. We're not just giving them water, we're giving them a challenge. We're training our gardens to be tough, to be independent, and to be able to take care of themselves. And I want to leave you with this final thought from Graeme Farrer because it just perfectly captures everything we've talked about. A lazy gardener makes a hard-working plant. It's this fantastic reminder that sometimes, by doing less, by stepping back and putting an end to that daily sprinkle, you are actually building a much stronger, healthier, and way more resilient garden.